People wanted me to talk about TS Manhand's business partner, who TS Manhan separated himself from and said he's no longer his business partner, was jailed. Okay, was the bond was remanded and he was jailed until sentencing, and sentencing was today. Well, apparently, according to the spiritual whisperer, uh and some more people over here on the TikTok, Dominique Wilkins was released under a 5-year probation. And now, hold on. Let me see if I can put this in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sure it is it gonna go? Let's see. Okay, it popped up that time. Okay. Now here is what the spiritual whisperer said, and the spiritual whisperer attended Dominique Morgan's probation hearing.
Y'all, spiritual whistleblower here, reporting from Brooklyn, downtown. Just came out of the courtroom. Witness Dominique Morgan sentencing. Dominique Morgan was sentenced to 5 years probation. Also found out too that allegedly he's been harassing the people at Oprah while he was locked up. He, she, whatever. I don't want to hear nobody saying I'm misgendering shit right now. Bottom line is this: Dominique and TS set up the DL Whisperer, and justice still must be served, okay? DL Whisperer should be free. So keep the DL Whisperer in prayers. I want to say a special shout out, thank you to the supporters that came out today in support of the DL Whisperer and all the survivors of domestic violence around the world. Right now, a lot going on. Free the DL Whisperer. This has got to stop. The misogyny has to stop against women. That's all I'm going to say.
So it's interesting that now a lot of TS Manhand's followers and minions have also come forward and dragging, her for being there and saying free deal, whisper and all of that. And then saying, well, none of y'all women who say anything about the DL Whisperer has ever been to not one hearing of the DL Whisperer. But none of y'all who were supporting Dominique Morgan have been to one hearing of Dominique Morgan's. Nobody was there except the spiritual whistleblower. That look, TS Manhands wasn't even there to see what was going to happen to his business partner, who he claims is not his business partner. Now, I also found it interesting that the spiritual whistleblower was responding to them people and then said this, honey. I was gagged. Okay, said Dominique Morgan definitely snitched to get that 5-year probation. The question is, who did he snitch on and to whom? Hashtag free the DL Whisperer. Hashtag Rico. And it is alleged that there's some shenanigans, there's some funny business going on with that TS Manhan Starter House, who only had one person in it. And Dominique Morgan was TS Manhan's partner in the Starter House. In fact, they were, he was the co-founder. And at the end of the day, the people are in their feelings, acting like I was lying about TS Manhan's actually getting donations and sponsorship and everything for this starter house for over a year, and nobody is in the house except one person, and that one person happens to work for Dominique Morgan. Interesting, but we're gonna finish now. Apparently some more people was dragging the spiritual whistleblower and was saying that again, nobody showed up to the DL Whisperers hearings, right? But the people that did show up, TS Manhands, Dominique Morgans, and the minions, that all banded against the DL Whisperer to keep him locked up, which is crazy. Now she responded with none of Dominique Morgan's followers showed up to her court appearance today to support her, but they're celebrating her stealing from her own trans community and getting away with it. The bar truly is in hell. I'm with you, spiritual whistleblower. The bar is in hell. Okay. Now they can call us transphobic and homophobic and all the phobics, but then you got somebody who literally stole from your own community, who literally used it to build a closet, who literally pled guilty, which means they know they were guilty in pocketing the money, whether they got jail time or not. They got 5 years probation, which means if they even spit on the sidewalk or run a red light, they get to go to jail. So it is, it is really messy. That situation is really messy. Now, the TS Manhan Starter House child. TS Manhan has finally spoken out about it in an interview. Hold on, let me go in my okay, here it is. Let me send it to okay, send. Now let me go to Instagram and pull it up. So he was asked about it recently, and he was hemming and hawing, hawing and hemming. And I found it interesting that he was hemming and hawing. And in fact, a couple of people found it interesting that he was hemming and hawing and hemming because where'd it go? Did I send it? Hold on. Because they sent me this. Okay, let me see. There it is right now. Okay. So I can't even fast forward it. I hate that. Yada, 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 yada. Let me speed it up. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the end. Blah, 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 blah. It's a long interview, and I can't fast forward, and I don't want to play the whole thing. You said, and the one person was online bragging about having money. Okay, hold on. This the one person that was bragging about having money. Hold on, I'm gonna point out the lies. This is so fun to me. I love doing research. Hold on. Here it is, right here. Okay, so share screen. So that's him right there. BET was honoring a bunch of people that they feel are iconic. We are prone to disagree, but here he is speaking on it.
Family, our backbone. There's so many broken homes and broken families that have shaped the way that our family dynamic and our culture.
Oh no, I gotta fast
But
forward.
my mother has been my backbone. She's been. We don't always get along. Sometimes
nobody does.
But I love my mom.
Yeah.
I will tear some shit up.
I know you will, and we will too for you.
Yes, yeah, I know.
And speaking of homes and broken homes, last time I saw you also, we talked about the TS Madison Starter House.
Yes.
I think you were
Here it is.
just launching it at that point. So can you give us an update on that? How is it
Now, this person was being a little messy, asking, "Can you give us an update?" Because we know nobody in there, and so TS Manhands was stuttering a little bit. Okay, child, hold on, listen.
going?
I can tell you that we are in the process of restructuring the TS Madison Starter House.
Okay.
There was some unforeseen circumstances that happened. We do have a girl in the house. Her name is Samaya Esters.
Okay.
And so
Remember when I told you that? I was the one who broke that to you. It's one person in the house in a year. Okay, that person actually flew in from Orlando just to stay in the house. Okay, keep listening.
with Samaya being in the house, I've been fully funding this stuff myself.
So that's a lot.
So TS Manhan says he's been fully funding this. Okay, remember we pulled up that pledge request where he was asking his followers to pledge and donate, and some of them did. Where is all the money going? Okay, remember when we showed a $1,000 check, some odd check from Pure for Men? Where did the money go? Okay, remember when we showed him with a check from Goshay? Shout out to Goshay. Goshay's breakfast bar. Goshay donated some money. Where did the money go? If he's the only one financing it, hold on, listen.
Large undertaking.
It's hard. It's hard. But I've been fully, doing this stuff myself. and I'm committed to the mission, and the mission is still continuing. I'm about to partner with some more
I was
folks.
gonna say, is there a way that people can help you, or
Well, right now we're going through we're renewing our thing with Nasum Inc. Or
You see, him and the Howard. Remember, he said he didn't control any money. It was not government funded. In fact, it was going through something else that was government funded, which is NASM. Now he's saying he not using NASM no more because remember his business partner was in jail, okay, for stealing from another nonprofit, and now the business partner had him profit with NASM, which is a nonprofit. Now he said he's going with somebody else. Are you going with somebody else? Because y'all don't know where the money at. Hold on, keep listening.
or we might be finding another fiscal partner because I don't have a 501c3.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. You ready?
Yeah, let's do
You
it.
want some exclusive?
Yep.
This is gonna be interesting. He said he don't have a 501c3. Hold on, listen.
Get it.
I don't have a 501c3 because I knew being a person that's large, people always try to find a scandal.
Yeah.
TS Manhands is just so large. He's bigger than life, honey. He is bigger than Oprah, bigger than Tyler Perry, who all have 501c3s. TS Manhan says when you are large, you cannot have a 501c3 because it will end in scandal. Okay. They will accuse you of stealing money. They won't accuse you of stealing money if they have no reason to accuse you. If your partner is a convicted felon and has pled guilty to stealing money from other nonprofits, why wouldn't they look at you sideways? But who am I but a reasonable human being? Hold on, listen.
I've never wanted to handle any money. I've never wanted to touch any money. I've never wanted to do, I've always wanted to partner with someone that would do that for me. And I would just use my power of influence, my power of presence to get housing for the girls and let somebody else handle the money. I don't want that.
Right. That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. And it's also not because I take anything, but because of the stigma of
And that's like a hit dog hollering. Not because I would take anything. But I mean, not because because I don't want to handle any money. Not because I would take anything. I don't want a 501c3 because I don't want to be involved with the money. Not, I wouldn't touch it though.
grounded.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, no.
Yeah. Before I let you go, you on Fox 5 with my family, Marissa Mitchell.
Oh, I just found that interesting, that little explanation. I wish I could rewind it, but I can't. But yeah, thank y'all for tagging me in that. That was very interesting. He scares you. He scares me too, child. He is just an angry bully. There's only one person in the house. I told y'all there was only one person. Me, Sandra Rose, the AJC. Everybody been telling you for months there was only one person in the house. Hold on, we're gonna pull up Sandra Rose. Shout out to Sandra. Hold on. Sandra pointed out that the only person was that the AJC exposed that there was only one person in the house. And the AJC exposed it low key. The AJC is the one who pointed it out. Now look at this. Look at this. We're gonna go back. We're going back in history because I'm sure I have already talked about this before. So here it is. Bam bam. TS was trying to get all of the press. Okay. The AJC exposes TS Manhands. Only one resident have lived in the house since 2024. And that person didn't get in the house until 2025 almost. Hold on, listen. So I guess the house was empty while they was getting $50,000 checks and $1,000 checks and $10,000 checks and monthly pledges. Okay. It said the Atlanta Journal-Constitution inadvertently exposed T.S. Madison for housing only one homeless trans person in his Atlanta starter home. Madison claimed he donated the house to help homeless trans women transition to permanent housing, but Madison's name is still on the deed for the house in Conyers. Madison told Forbes, when I first came up with the idea, I donate my first house to charity. I thought about how I moved to Atlanta homeless, broke, poor, sick from silicone poisoning, and with no sense of direction or place to go. One of my trans sisters took me in and became like a second mother to me. She motivated me and gave me the tools to start over. Madison built the home as a sanctuary for Black trans women, co-founded and inspired by T.S. Manhands. Okay, look at the man hands. Look at the man hands. Look at him cutting the ribbon ceremony. A ribbon cutting ceremony was held in the Starter House November of 2024, but no one moved in until December of 2025. Actually, the ribbon cutting ceremony was I think it was like in March of 2024, and nobody moved in until December, child. Um, Madison's business partner, Dominique Morgan, was charged with stealing $100,000 from New York City charity, which to me is why people look at this situation sideways. Okay. No one is saying, and T.S. Manhans is quick to go to his platform and say, I'm not government funded. I'm not government funded. No one is saying, I'm not saying he's government funded. I'm just saying that, having a house that you say you quote unquote donate, that you did not donate, that you are actually actively taking money for, and no one is utilizing the house in the manner in which you claim that it was donated is, interesting to me. That's a form of fraud, and that's just my opinion. Okay. And so, there is what it is. And so it says Zamaya, the Starter House first resident, is a TikTok influencer. Okay. Zamaya is the only resident who has ever lived in the house. The worst part is Zamaya is a TikTok influencer who actually lives in Orlando, Florida. And y'all know there are plenty of homeless trans people in Atlanta. Hmm. So, it says Madison has accepted over $250,000 in donations. And did we not just see T.S. Manhan say that he is funding it? Where's the 250,000 in donations? Did Dominique run off with that too? Is he gonna blame Dominique for that too? Hmm. I don't know, child. I'm just asking the questions.